Yes, dear students, welcome to the third video lecture. Okay, so in the previous lectures we have discussed about the types of hydraulic fluids and properties of the hydraulic fluids and functions of the hydraulic fluids we discussed. Okay, so all these parameters, that is topics, are very important. They may ask questions in the examinations. So along with that, so you know that different types of fluids, then properties of the fluids and functions of that fluids. Okay, so at the same time one more topic is that factors influencing the selection of fluids. Okay, which are the factors you going to consider if you want to select some hydraulic fluids for some applications. Okay, so you can look at all these parameters. Okay, so first one is the operating pressure of the system. This is very important. Okay, so you need not pick that hydraulic fluids which are available in the market randomly. Okay, so before selecting any hydraulic fluid for some hydraulic systems, so you have to consider some parameters, okay, which are going to help you people to select that hydraulic fluid. Under that, first one is the operating pressure. At what working pressure of that hydraulic system is working. Okay, so based on that required hydraulic pressure, so you can select the hydraulic fluid for the application. The second parameter is the operating temperature of the system and its variation. That is important. So at what condition that hydraulic system will going to work, either at higher temperature region or low temperature region or what. So because based on, you know that the temperature and pressure will much affects on the performance of the hydraulic fluids. So that's why you can study the temperature condition of the hydraulic system. So based on that temperature, so you can select the hydraulic fluid for that system. Okay, so that is the second parameter you can consider. Third one is the material of the system and its capability with oil used. Okay, so because you know that if you select randomly any oil from the market and you can use it in the hydraulic system, then later on stages what will happen, it will not compatible with that hydraulic system because it will start reacting with the component to the metallic components or to the environment. Again, it is very danger. Okay, that's why you can select the consider that material of the system and its compatibility with the oil used. Okay, so next is speed operation. Speed of operation. Speed of operation means at what speed the hydraulic system will go to work. At the same time that oil will also help that system to operate and you can achieve the required output. So based on that speed of the hydraulic system, so you can select the hydraulic fluid. And next point is the availability of the replacement fluid. So that is important. Suppose if you select randomly any fluid, then for the hydraulic system, because you know that out of that different 4 to 5 types of hydraulic fluid, it is having its a lifetime. So once you can buy the hydraulic fluid means you cannot use it for a longer period, means many years. Okay, so every oil hydraulic fluid is having its own lifespan. Okay, so at that if once that lifespan will get over, means you can replace it by the new quantity of hydraulic fluid. That's why again you can see at the availability of that same fluid in the market. So that is what you can look at. And cost of transmission lines and contamination possibilities, environmental conditions. Okay, so next is the lubricity, safety to operate, expected service life. Okay, these are some 8 to 10 parameters you can keep in mind while selecting any hydraulic fluid for some application in the hydraulic system. Clear? So these are very simple parameters are there, like operating pressure, temperature, speed of the system, availability of the replacement fluid, cost of transmission lines, contamination possibilities, environmental conditions, lubricity, safety to operate, expected service life. Clear? Understood? So next you can come to the next topic is lubricating oil additives. Why it is? Because we are studied previously about the different types of hydraulic fluids, properties and functions of the hydraulic fluids, and while selecting the any hydraulic fluid for some application, which are the parameters you can keep in mind. You are discussed all those things. At the same time, what will happen under the, if you come to the functions of the hydraulic fluid, so one function is that the lubricating, that is the hydraulic fluid is act like a lubricant, good lubricant. That is very important thing. At the same time, if that hydraulic fluid is working at a higher pressure, its properties of the fluid will going to change. Is that right? So in order to maintain those properties of the hydraulic fluid to the normal stage, you can go with some additives. You can add in between some additives to enhance the properties of that lubricating oil. That's why you can concentrate on the this additives. Additives is the means what? It is the external agent, right? So you can add into the hydraulic fluid to enhance its properties, nothing else. Okay, so that is what the first point. In the first point I am telling you, lubricating oil additives are used to enhance the performance of the lubricants and functional fluid. Okay, so this is what the lubricating oils. And next one is the each additive is selected for its ability to perform one or more specific functions in a combination with the other additives. Clear? Each additive is selected for its ability to perform one or more specific functions in combination with the other additives also. Okay, even you can add the more number of additives to enhance the different kinds of properties. Okay, selected additives are formulated into packages for the use with the specific lubricants, the base stock, and for the specified end use application. So if you come to the classification of different lubricant additives, so basically there are three types. First one is the surface protective additives, second one is the performance enhancing additives, and third category is the lubricant protective additives. These are the main three different additives, okay, for the different application. Surface protective additives means, okay, and the performance enhancements additives, lubricant protective additives. If you come to the first category, that is surface protective additives, again in that there are total 6 type additives like lubricity additives, anti-wear additives, extreme pressure additives, tightness additives, corrosion and rust inhibitor additives, and detergent additives. These all comes under the surface protective additives. And second category, if it comes under the performance enhancing additives, viscosity index improver, poor point depressant, okay, demulsifier, emulsifier. These are the 4 additives will comes under the performance enhancement of the lubricants. And third one is the lubricant protective additives, oxidation inhibitors, foam inhibitors. Clear? So these are brief classification of the different lubricant additives for the different application. Clear? So we will discuss one by one. So first one is the lubricity additives. Simple, you can just remember it is a additive which is used for the hydraulic system to enhance the lubricity. You can enhance the property of that hydraulic fluid, lubricity property of the hydraulic fluid. That's it. That is what the main advantage of the application of this lubricity additives. Okay, lubricity also refers to as the oiliness with the respect to lubricating oil is defined as the ability of an oil to reduce the friction between the moving surface. Lubricity additives, usually vegetables or the animal fats, enhance the lubricity by tendentially adhering to the metal surface, forming an absorbed film of high lubricating values. And second additive is the anti-wear additives. Okay, you can just remember simple words. For your more information I am putting here presentation. So anti-wear additive means what? You can avoid, you can minimize the wear or the friction between the moving parts. In order to reduce that, you can use some additives, you can add some additives into the hydraulic fluid, so you can achieve the lesser frictional losses. Clear? So anti-wear additives work by coating the metal surfaces. If light metal to metal contact is made, The heat from the friction melts the additives, forming a liquid layer between the surface. This molten additive layer, being softer than the metal, act as a lubricant, preventing the wear of the metal surface. Simple. So that is what the anti-wear additives. So we can make the coating on the metallic or the moving components. So once the movement will be existing between the two components, then this anti-wear additive will convert it into metal and it will form the solid layer, liquid layer between the moving components. So it will act like a lubricant. It is what the anti-wear additives. This is what the effect of anti-wear additives by figure representation. Just see, that is the first figure. I made this load it to apply the load, then no anti-scratching. So that is the boundary layer. So how it will helps to avoid the friction. Next is the extreme pressure additives. Extreme pressure additives work by reacting with the metal to form the compound that act as a protective layer on the metal surface. Because of this layer is softer than the metal itself. Under the extreme pressure condition, the compound layer wear always first, protecting the metal. As this layer is removed, the extreme pressure additive acts to form the another layer. So in contrast to the action of anti-wear additives, extreme pressure additives control the wear instead of preventing it. Okay, that is a thickness agent. Thickness agent act to increase the adhesiveness of an oil or a gas, greases. Next is the corrosion and rust inhibitors. Rust inhibitors protect ferrous, that is iron or steel parts, by forming a film on the parts that resist the attack by water. Okay, corrosion inhibitors act in a similar way to protect the non-ferrous parts and also act to neutralize the acid with the basic compounds such as calcium carbonate. Detergent and dispersant. Detergent and dispersant are used primarily in engine oil to keep surface free of deposits and keep contaminants dispersed in the lubricants. Okay, viscosity index improver. Viscosity index improver lower the rate of change of the viscosity with the temperature and are used to produce the multigrade motor oils. Okay, so then pour point depressant. Pour point depressants enables lubricants to flow at a lower temperature. Demulsifier. Demulsifier promotes the separation of oil and water in a lubricants exposed to water. Okay, then emulsifier. An emulsifier promotes the rapid mixing of oil and water to form a stable emulsion. Emulsifiers are used in motor oils to allow water formed by the combustion of the fuel to be kept in emulsion until engine heat can evaporate it. Emulsifiers are also used in soluble oil, used in some metal working operations, and in a fire resistance hydraulic fluids. Emulsification is usually not a desirable property in most hydraulic fluids or a turbine oil. Oxidation inhibitors. Oxidation inhibitors or antioxidants, okay, so lengthen the lubricant services or storage life by increasing its oxidation resistance by binding the pre-oxidation in the oil in hydrogen catalyst effect metal. Foam inhibitors. Foam inhibitors prevents the lubricant foaming by decreasing the surface tension of the air bubbles, allowing them to combine into a large ones which breaks more rapidly. Okay, foam resistance, because while discussing of the properties of the hydraulic fluids, in that there is a foam resistance parameter or the property will come into picture. So in order to avoid or in order to decrease the foam formation, so you can use the foam inhibitors. These foam inhibitors will improve the, or you can decrease the formation of foams in the hydraulic fluid. Lubricating oil additives, okay, that is end users. So means the largest end user use is in the automotive engine crankcase lubricants. Other automotive applications include hydraulic fluids and gear oils. In addition, many industrial lubricants and metalworking oils also contains lubricating oil additives. The major functional additive type are dispersant, detergents, oxidation inhibitors, anti-wear agent, extreme pressure additives, and viscosity index improver. So at the same time, one more topic we're going to discuss, that is the effect of temperature and pressure on the hydraulic fluid. That is effect of low temperature on the hydraulic fluid. When hydraulic equipment is exposed to the cold temperature or at the low temperature region, the rubber components such as seals, fittings, mounts and the hoses can be seriously damaged during the operation. It is important to check the condition of exterior rubber component for the cracks or tear before starting the system, and always have the replacement parts on the hand for the rubber components just in case of something is damaged. Cold temperatures will affect the viscosity of the fluid in your hydraulic system, which means not just the hydraulic fluid but lubricants. Low temperature will increase the viscosity of the hydraulic fluid and oil, which means that it will behave as a thicker fluid. If the viscosity increases too much, the fluid will not behave normally. Then the effect of higher temperature on hydraulic system. When the hydraulic fluid and lubricants are exposed to the high temperatures for extended period of time, the fluid will begin to experience the permanent deterioration and a severe reduction in viscosity. That is, the fluid will be much thinner than less viscous. The detonation of hydraulic fluid leads to the oxidation and the formation of the problematic sludge. At the same time, the fluid will experience the chemical reaction between the degrading additives, all of which seriously compromise the performance of the fluid and the hydraulic system as whole. So this is what we discussed about the effect of temperature on the hydraulic system. In a similar way, the pressure parameter will also affect. That is what. So thank you. So we will end this today's lecture.